Our podcast is proudly sponsored by Tooth Club, the celebrity dentist specialising in composite bonding, Invisalign and implants. They offer monthly deals and you can spread the cost with monthly payments. With locations across Essex, Hertfordshire, Suffolk and Kent, they're easy to find. Check them out on Instagram at Tooth Club UK. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Yours Sincerely podcast with me, Lauryn Goodman.
And me, Lisa Andrews.
Back for a series 2.
Woo!
We've actually had such lovely, I was going to say, I don't know where
Can
I
I
was going
start?
with that.
Have you missed me?
No, you're here with me all the time.
Oh.
What do you mean you don't
I
leave?
missed you.
When?
When I wasn't here.
You miss my kids more than me.
I miss your kids more. That's the truth.
Yeah, you do.
It's true. Yeah. It's the kids. Definitely the kids.
Oh, gosh. So I guess we wanted to touch on, a bit of feedback. Some questions that were asked to us.
Yeah, definitely. We've had loads. Actually, we've had so many lovely messages, haven't we?
Yeah.
I firstly want to say thank you. And I know Lauren's used to it, which you are.
I am, but it's still really, really nice to hear.
I know.
Everyone's feedback.
It's lovely. And we've been ringing each other up and reading it out to each other, the different messages we've got. And the support is lovely.
I think it means especially a lot to Lisa, where she's felt as though for such a long time that she didn't have a voice or a platform to do it. And kind of you felt a bit suppressed, didn't you?
100%.
And so now that she's speaking and speaking her truth and her story and stuff, she really feels kind of, grateful and just appreciate that everyone can understand and they've been in similar situations to you or they can relate in some way.
100%. And what's happened as well, which is really nice, blasts from the past have messaged me, people that were around when I was with Nigel and we did crazy party, and the ones that said I used to come out with you and back to your flat with Nigel and blah blah blah. And
it's making them relive it as well, isn't it?
Because it wasn't all bad, it really, well, obviously it wasn't, it lasted 6 years.
But
so
I think also that's part of the craziness about it, is because there were so many good times, your brain selectively remembers the good times over probably the bad times.
Yeah.
So then you yourself try to give excuses, don't you?
Yeah.
Have you ever gone through that?
Yeah, 100%.
I'll be like, oh no, it's not his fault because, he was going through a bad time that week and, he was stressed, and we did have a really nice week the other week and we did this and we had these memories and, look at him here or whatever. But when you look at it as a whole, actually, there's so much more bad.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes. So many. Thing is with me and Nigel, and this is me as well, we were toxic. We were toxic, but I also had some of the best times. I've got the best memories and I won't forget them, but there were some. Can you stop?
I just realised
hitting me up with your foot. That's
the
not...
The top's really soft.
Right. That's my right breast.
Well, you actually put them up that high.
Yeah, because they were on my knees and it was hurting.
Well, then let me
So
stroke.
stop titting me up.
Sorry, no. I did say I was gonna turn.
Footing me.
Wait, but you know what you just said about
Toxic. Or tits.
toxic tits.
Toxic tits.
No, you know what you just said about you said you had some of the best memories. I feel like that's part of the problem, is kind of your memory gets distorted because you had such good memories with them that you try and forget all the bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the bad is bad.
Oh my gosh. But Nigel scared me. He was the most exciting person I'd ever been around. I think I've had every emotion through my relationship with Nigel. The happiest I've ever been. He would make me, and I'm sure this is how he is with women, he makes you feel like you are the only one in the whole world.
I'm not sure if it's just him that makes...
No, I think it's
that type of man.
Is it narcissist? Is it, Well,
we'll find out next episode, because we do have a special guest next episode, don't we?
We certainly do.
I think which will be very interesting to our followers, but or our listeners. But yeah, I think it's like that sort of male trait, which makes, they're very charming, aren't they?
So charming. And
I actually got a message of someone saying, or they were claiming that he had another child elsewhere. And I don't know if it's true. I haven't got down to the bottom of it or anything. I kind of don't have the time.
hold on, I'm having deja vu here.
Are you joking?
No.
Yeah, I haven't got the time to like delve into all of this. But if they ever wanted to message me anonymously and to keep it between us, I'd understand that. If my kids have siblings elsewhere, I'd obviously like to know. And it wouldn't surprise me, but I think it would upset me, the fact that it was like kept from us, considering obviously Kyra and Kanara deserve to know that they have siblings out there, especially because they don't get to see their 4 half siblings now. That was a message that got sent to me, and they actually said, you know, he's very charming, he's this, he's that. And I thought, it sounds like somebody who does know a little bit about him. Like, it doesn't sound like somebody who didn't know.
A stranger.
Yeah, and I know the message it's on my Truth highlight reel for anyone that wants to.
Do you know what though, Lauren? When you're saying that, it is scary because there's some very sick people out there that would, I'm not saying it's true, I'm not saying it's not, I don't know. But what scares me, and what I'm learning more and more every day, there are some sick people out there would get a kick in lying about something like that. I'm not saying it's a lie. You know what I'm trying to say? There are...
Well, the bit that scares me is if my siblings were to meet somebody when they're older and then they not know that they're related.
Yeah.
Like, I hear some weird stories about that,
Yeah.
or that they've fallen in love with somebody and then ended up being their half.
You read about that all the time, don't you?
So,
and yet they're brother and sister, and they didn't know.
They didn't know, and then you feel kind of sorry for them in a way, because it's like,
because
they
fallen.
probably do love each other, but not in that romantic way. It's probably because they're connected by blood. I mean, I don't know, but it's just, for me, I don't want that to happen to my kids, but I doubt I'm ever going to know the full truth anymore. So I don't want to drive myself more insane than what I've kind of driven myself already.
No. And the thing is, only because I've learned, what's meant to be will be.
And what's meant to come out, I think, will slowly come to you. Yeah, I agree.
And if kids, as they get older, find out they've got siblings and they want to pursue that, then, you know, that's down to the kids.
Oh, I think my kids will definitely want to.
Yeah.
I think they're such sociable little kids that they'll love it.
Yeah.
I think they really will.
What I always done, and what Harley and I have gone through, and is that I know Harley almost felt guilty to me that he was going to, this is as he's got older, and this isn't when he was little and I was a part of it. This is as he's got older, hasn't seen anyone.
Because you're left.
For a long time, yeah. And I remember him, you know, almost being a little bit cagey, as in, you know, my other brothers and sisters, or my other family, or my dad, you know, I'm going to go and see them, Mum. And I'm like, go. I've always, and Harley will vouch for that, encouraged it, because I never, ever wanted him to look at me and say, you stopped me, because I think
on you.
Yeah. And they need to find out for themselves. So, yeah, that's a whole nother chapter, isn't it?
You were saying that it's a story. So has he got another sibling that we didn't know about?
Well, apparently so.
What, and he hasn't been claimed, or what? How did it come to you?
It was in the newspaper many years ago.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. But I didn't know about that being in the newspaper. And then I was at work once, and I was running a bar, and a guy come in and we were talking, and he said, do you know this certain girl, her name? And I said, no. And he said, oh, you've got something in common more than you think. And I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And he said, she's got a son with Nigel.
Another boy.
Yeah. And I didn't want to know, but I did want to know, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Because the first thought you think is...
Isn't it like the unknown? You kind of want to know the unknown. But
and
not.
Also, it's a little bit... I'm going to be really honest here. Yeah. Oh, we really weren't anything. We really weren't special.
It's funny that you should say that. I've had those moments where I'll get DMs off girls going, oh, you know, I've had an abortion to him, or I have slept with him, or whatever the DMs are. And I'm thinking, gosh, how many are there? And then, yeah, you do get that, well, maybe No, he only cares about himself, to be honest, because you can't do that with that many people.
No.
And have like loads of feelings for so many people.
And then you do question, was it all a joke? You have to. If there's other women and you were led to believe that they were in love with you at that time or whatever, I don't know. I mean, like I say, I only know what I felt, and my feelings were real, and I can only go by what he told me. And Nigel told me 10 times a day, every day. So I can only tell someone something enough, they believe it. But, you know, it does make you think, do you know what? I wasn't special. It was...
My head's just gone in this.
I don't even know what to call it, if that's the case. But anyway, moving on. Yeah. But I can't say I've never met anyone else with Nigel's child.
Has Harley met another sibling? Like, has he met that sibling?
No.
Never spoken?
No. Never even tried to. Never. I think Harley's still processing the other 7. Do you know what I mean?
How many does he have?
So he's got 3 children with his first wife.
Does he?
Yep.
Okay.
Then me with Harley. And then Caroline has, I don't know, 4. 4 kids.
So that's 8 in total. Mm-hmm. And then he's got potentially another one.
Possibly, but...
So that's 9.
Possibly.
I can count. Don't know if he can. If he has any more, it'll be off his fingers. You got some catching up to do, Kyle.
It is a lot.
You know what, though? Sometimes I do feel as though you hold back, Lise, and it's only because I know you. Is there a reason?
I really don't want to hold back at all because I feel like this is time. I owe everything to Harley and for Layla, even though Nigel's not her dad, it's our story. Mm-hmm. I had so much fear. I was so scared to talk, to do or say anything that was going to upset anyone, that it's taken me a long time to actually get to this place where, you know what, I don't care. I do not care anymore.
And when you were younger, was there anything that kind of you went through which probably a normal person maybe wouldn't have gone through?
I had a panic button in my house where Harley and I lived.
Who put that in? The
police put the panic button in.
I see. It's just...
And that was really, really hard times. Really hard times. And even now, thinking about it makes me... it upsets me because I can just remember as a young woman with my little 3-year-old... When I first met Nigel...
No, with your little 3-year-old, how old were you? With a panic button in your house?
30.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine being in such a state that the police had thought that you needed a panic button in the house.
Yeah. Basically, if anyone is interested in the story to that, but I went to Tenerife with Harley. I was told to be very careful because someone had been paid to put acid in my face while I was in Tenerife. And I've got my child with me and I had my niece with me as well.
The person that told you, is that somebody who you felt like they wouldn't just
reliable,
say that, really?
Yeah. And it was just awful. It was so awful. And I've taken my son and my niece on holiday and I'm thinking I want to fly home.
Yeah, of course, because you wouldn't enjoy it. Who the fuck would enjoy it?
Yeah, it was just awful. And when I got back, I kept getting phone calls on my landline. Still then there was landlines. Back in the dark ages we had landlines, but there was landlines. And on my home phone, I would pick it up and no one would speak. And that would be at all different times. And
almost to check maybe that you were in the house.
That's what I felt like. And after I'd been told about the acid scenario, I was so scared. And the phone calls went on and on and on. And
you're giving me
my mum had phone calls
as well
saying we're going to kill Lisa and da-da-da. Whoever it was that... And
it's disgusting. You've literally got a young child.
One was from a woman.
Sorry, what?
One was from a woman. They thought that it was me answering they'd called my mum's house. And bear in mind, me and Harley used to live there before we got our house. And my mum picked the phone up. And at first, they thought my mum was me. We do sound quite similar, a little bit. And they said, a girl said, I'm going to kill you. And my mum said, who's that? And they went, is that Lisa? And Mum said, no, it's her mum. And they actually said the words to my mum, we are going to kill her.
But for what? For having his child?
I don't know, for speaking my truth.
But you weren't really speaking.
Ruining, I know.
But you didn't ruin anything. He did.
Ruining their image, the image. I don't know. Lauren, to this day, I mean, I'm happy to be given answers because I still don't understand.
I'd quite like the answers to it because I don't understand how you can attack the mum for raising your child.
Yeah. And you know what scared me? All I kept thinking, will they do anything when Harley's there? Will anything happen in front of my son? That's all I went through. And even in my house, and it's such a poignant memory. And it's going to sound like I'm joking. I didn't blow dry my hair because I felt too vulnerable with the hairdryer going. And I used to think,
you wouldn't know if
someone's in the house.
Yeah, I hear that.
I won't hear them. And that's the truth. That's how bad it got. And
so that's taken away from your moments with your child. Like him, you know. That's all your memory is.
Absolutely awful. Harley slept in the bed with me. I didn't let my son out of my sight. I mean, it was a standing joke with a lot of people. They used to say, here's Lisa with her growth, because he was stuck on my side. I didn't put him down. When I say it was almost unhealthy, not in a unhealthy way, like me and Harley laugh, we're so close.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But it shouldn't have quite been like that, really.
No.
You know,
people obviously joke about having their shadow, you know, oh, my child follows me to the toilet, but it's like you would literally...
And that's why, Lauren, I said to you about the messages about other kids. Is it some sick person doing it that is nothing to do with them? You know, there's a possibility.
Yeah, there's a possibility of anything in life.
Did it come from them? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Or are they too scared to put their real name to it because they've been threatened?
Yeah.
Or they've signed an NDA. You don't know.
You don't know. And I don't. To this day,
no, I know.
I don't know who it was.
Or whether it was a prank. Or whether it was but it made you feel a type of way at the
whatever
time.
it was, it played with my life and my son's.
Oh, I actually want to cry for you because I don't even know.
It was shit. Absolutely shit. And I had to, again, don't cry because I will.
No, because it's just so bad.
It's so bad, Lauren. And I've had to suppress everything because I was scared. And it's awful.
I just think that's terrible. Whoever decided to do that at the time.
Don't cry because I will.
It's too
Love
late.
you. No. Love you, but don't cry because...
I'm trying not to let the tears run out because my makeup...
Yeah, we don't want to ruin your makeup.
No.
Have you got makeup on? I thought you got up like that, Lauren.
Why you got cracked jokes?
That's
It's a really, really sad story, to be honest.
It is really sad.
And there's other women out there that will be feeling how you felt. Domestic abuse happens in relationships.
Yeah.
No, that's like a different story and stuff, but they'll have that sheer panic of I can't say this or I can't do that, or, you know...
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not right to live your life like that. Like, if I had to move away to another country with my kid, I would have.
Yeah.
By the way, this didn't happen to me. He's never laid a hand on me. I'm not saying he has, by the way. I'm just saying that women will go through kind of similar experiences like that. You know, there are just so many different types of relationships that you
There really are. And
women sometimes just they just don't have the strength to but your child, for me, your child, you've got to find the strength within your child because you can't have them around those environments. And it's so much easier saying that and obviously doing it because some people are really, really in that, you know, they've got nowhere to go or, you know, you don't know what the situation
I think
is.
as well, we're all guilty of saying, I wouldn't have put up with that. But there may be something, I'm just using this hypothetically, that you put up with that I would sit here and go, Lauren, how did you put up with that? But we all put up or different things.
It's true.
We accept for different reasons, I think.
Yeah, and it's like kind of those stories that you hear, like when a man gets caught cheating, you know, and they're doing everything in their power to like put it right with the person that they want to be with and to show they've changed and all of this, and then they'll go off and have sex with somebody else, and they'll come back and go, it'll be that person's fault. It'll be, well, we weren't having sex, or no, I paid to have the sex because you aren't giving it to me, that's why. Like, there will be an excuse, and it'll be
that's
your
okay
fault.
then.
Yeah, no. Like,
Yeah,
well, how are
no.
you proving then? Like,
Yeah.
no, go and have a wank.
Yeah.
They're never going to change. Those types of people are never going to change. Like, they're meant to be the ones that are showing you you're their world or whatever, but they're off still sleeping around and putting the blame on you, saying, well, you're not giving it to me. Mm-hmm. But the reason I'm not giving it to you is because you cheated in the first place. You're meant to be proving me right, and you're not. You're proving me that you're still the same person. And saying you paid for sex doesn't make it any better. They're just saying they're paying for it to make you think that they don't have any emotional connection to the other person.
And I think what you're saying there, Lauren, is they're telling that person that they love them and they love themselves.
Yeah.
Men like that love themselves
They don't care about anyone else.
more than their children, more than their wife, girlfriend,
Mistress,
fiance,
partner,
whatever
whoever.
you want to call it. They come first. They come before anyone, and
they always will.
And they always will.
Yeah. Whatever it is, they will think, okay, well, I need to get this out of this situation, so I've got to keep doing this for now.
Yeah.
Until I just sort this out.
Yeah.
It's always what they think, and it will never change.
Men will never want the two women that he's lied to talk.
I agree, because as soon as you talk to the other person, you realise that the same things are being said, you know.
Yeah.
I think what you find as well is the man is always bad-mouthing the other woman to the other woman.
Of course.
Like, really bad things.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, hold on a
She's
minute.
this, she's that.
She's not a good mum. She does, like, just awful things. And then maybe to the other person, they're calling you all these names under the sun. They may even be calling the children that they've had with you names.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is just...
Do you know what, Lauren? You saying that, I always say it now. If I'm chatting to a guy, not just in general,
yeah.
and he tells me about his girlfriend, wife, fiance, and he says, "Oh, she's a crank." Do you know what I say? What did you do to make her like that? Every single time.
But they've got no answer to that.
No answer. But it's true. 9 times out of 10. No, you done something.
Yeah, to make her feel that way. 100%.
We're not just cranky.
No.
Well, no, but you know
we're
what
on
I'm
our
saying.
monthly.
Yeah,
No.
it's normally something. It might not be that man that's done it. It might have come
Someone else.
previous
Yeah, could have.
relationship.
The only issues I have were obviously, the revealing of my gender for Cairo, the kind of digs at Cairo on social media, because obviously he is still Cairo's dad and now Kanara's dad, and that will never change, and those sorts of things. And then I'm getting sent things like, oh, she's liking nasty comments about you. To some extent, I understand, because I also go through the hurt as well with sometimes blaming them for situations, but actually ultimately it lies with him. And I feel as though the things that he's told me about her, and potentially the things that he's told her about me, to try and make us hate each other, whatever it is, it does really work.
Of course it does.
Because we've had years of it.
Nigel and I spent a lot of our younger time clubbing, partying, and he would get a lot of attention, of course, but I did, believe it or not, when I was younger, I did get a lot of attention. So with little things like I'd watch him. Nigel's a terrible, terrible flirt, and anyone
You're going to say a terrible dancer. I don't know why.
and a terrible dancer. But anyone that watches or that knows him knows that he loves women, and that's it, and that's a fact. And he would flirt. So I would think, all right, go on, you do that, watch. And I would do it in front of him, which probably isn't the way, because I would hate my son to be with someone like me. And I'm being honest, my younger self, I'd be like, oh my God, no, don't. But I would play the game, basically. And then he would be angry. And then I'd be like, why are you angry? You're this, you're that. And we would argue. It was very fiery.
But then in the bedroom it's fiery as well, isn't it?
It goes hand in hand, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does. That's the problem. Because I remember about the kind of playing the game. I remember I went out one night and I was actually talking to this other football player, and we were talking, flirting, or whatever, just having banter. And anyway, I got this message off him. In fact, let me read it so that I know that I'm exactly saying, I don't want to be getting a letter saying that I'm lying.
What about being out? You didn't go out.
You didn't go out. No, I did. I went out. And it was, get hold of that. Oh, actually, I'm not going to say the team.
Get hold of that ...
No, it says, the message said, get hold of that player, see if he will take you in that you were dangling off. And then he said that hate forums were name. I won't say it on here because I don't want to give them promo, but he said, so blah blah says, and he named the hate forum. And I thought, they don't know where I am at this present time. They don't know who I am with right now. So someone has told you, one of these players has called somebody, it's got back to you somehow.
Yeah.
And I thought, why you asked?
Yeah.
Why do you care?
Yeah. So he made out he saw it written somewhere.
He made out he saw it written, and then it was kind of like, okay, that's even more sad because why are you reading up on me on a hate forum?
Yeah. You should be in bed. You've got training in the morning. I don't know. It's all madness, isn't it? All of it.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Have you ever been told, don't go to Ocean Beach. You're not going there. We're seeing each other now. You're not going there. And you're like, no, I am. No, you're not going there. What are you wearing? Let me check what you're wearing. Sorry, what? You ever have any of that?
I had 6 years of that.
Yeah, and then it's, don't breastfeed, put your boob away. No, they're in the background. What are you going on about? I'm feeding our child. Mm-hmm. Like, no. And my boob is covered. It's just she's in front of it.
Yeah.
Weird stuff.
It's very weird. Is it that I don't want you, but I don't want no one else to have you? Is it that?
No, it's a controlling thing.
Yeah, but
what's
I mean,
breastfeeding or you going to a place got to do with anything?
Yeah, it is control.
Maybe it is that as well. I don't know.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Work out what.
As hell. In,
I remember getting the message being like, "Eh."
Yeah.
Like what?
Did you look round see if he was in there? But I suppose it is all control, isn't it? All of it.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I can just brings me on to, I can just bring my kids up making the decisions that I want to make for them in like a toxic free environment. That to me is just like, thank
yeah,
Lord.
I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, well,
very
yours wasn't
grateful.
really toxic free, a panic button.
No, as in
like they made your lives super hell.
Yeah, it was. It has been. And
like I've had hell in terms of like court and stress in that sense, and I only ever felt threatened when I was pregnant with Cairo. But then that once I'd had him, I knew that he was safe. He wasn't going to be touched. Same, Kanara's never felt afraid, and this house is completely flipping.
Yeah,
proofed up. So, but still, I don't know where I was going with that.
I think with me, Lauren, everyone else has been allowed to speak their truth and not me. And that leads me to, why is it okay for someone to paint their story that isn't true and the one that is telling the truth has to be quiet? It's just not, it's not fair.
On. But that's like when people go, oh, just let it go. It's like, well, I haven't even actually got out hardly any of it yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready to. So when I am, I'll let you know.
Yeah. And I've got another 25 years to go. You might want to put the kettle on. Because even to last year.
That comment earlier. Yeah, last year. We haven't even got into last year. There was a comment that got put onto the Yours Sincerely podcast, and I think it was, are there any other topics that are going to be discussed? It's like, hun, do you know how many issues are intertwined in just our relationships in general?
Yeah.
We haven't even managed to get on to anything else yet.
Like, I'd like to talk about what mascara I use, but at the minute, that's not important. Do you know what I mean? I've got a lot more to get off my chest first, and then I'll talk about it.
If you don't want to listen to it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But we're still going to talk anyway.
We're still going to. But yeah, there's But there is, because the minute you talk about one thing, it leads on to another topic.
No, 100%. And there's so, like I said, there's been so much.
And so many messages we've had, which I'm backtracking, but we've had so many messages. And the stories are completely different.
They are.
But there's a connection. We've all got some sort of connection.
Because there was somebody that messaged to say that they felt as though their story was really similar to ours. And she put, we love the podcast so far. You should be so proud of yourself for getting your truth out there. I have been a supporter of Lauryn since day one and feel like this is because I have somewhat a similar story to her. So I find her very relatable and I understand her pain. In 2021, I had a baby with a man who I'd known since I was 11 years old. Wow. His family moved into the house opposite ours. He was a year older than me, so we basically grew up together. We had a short fling when I was 20 and he was 21, which ended when he was 22 and in a relationship with a 14-year-old schoolgirl. Huh? That is what that says. That's disgusting. 14-year-old. And
Read that again. Not all of it, that.
He was 21, which ended when he was 22 and in a relationship with a 14-year-old schoolgirl.
No.
I did read it right. We completely went our separate ways.
I should hope so.
What the fuck? No, but then it's going to get worse because I feel like this story goes on. So, like, what happened after he was with the schoolgirl? I met someone else and he stayed with this girl. Fast forward to September 2020, I was taking my daughter to her first day at nursery and saw him again there taking his son to the same class. We ended up speaking and he'd been single a few months, the same as I had. By February 2021, I was pregnant and everything was fine until he told his ex. Now, is this a schoolgirl or is this another ex? Oh. Anyway, suddenly the pregnancy wasn't a good idea and he didn't want this anymore. And I went through the pregnancy alone right until the end, when he got in touch and said he wanted to be involved. His conscience had kicked in and he cried, holding my stomach, feeling our son kicked me, telling me he would always be there and he grew up without a dad and wouldn't ever do that to his own child. I would speak to his ex on the school run and she had the biggest victim complex of anyone I'd ever met. She wouldn't accept that they were broken up when I fell pregnant and behaved as though he had cheated when really he had done nothing wrong. When our son, I think what she means is because Cairo was conceived when they weren't together originally. Yeah. So that's probably what she meant there, as in like relatable. I don't know. But when our son was born, he was hardly there. He didn't treat our son the same as his other kids and it killed me. It soon transpired that he was back with his ex. She fell pregnant again and all contact stopped. He would walk past me and his son in the local supermarket and not even acknowledge him. I can't tell you what I would do.
He'd get a melon thrown straight at the back of his head.
Are you for real? You think you're going to walk past your children and not acknowledge them?
Don't follow me in the fruit aisle because I'll kill you. Like, are you fucking joking?
I'm sorry, we're not laughing at this story.
Not one bit, but you know what? You're walking past the child.
The cans. Canned tomatoes.
Tin of tomato soup will be on the back of your head. No.
I'm sorry, but I'm really imagining it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd pray it wouldn't get his nose because that would hurt him the most.
Probably would get his nose because that's the biggest thing he's got.
Well.
I don't want to know.
I'm sorry, we've really sidetracked from this girl's story.
It's terrible, isn't it?
So she fell pregnant again and all contact stopped. He would walk past me and his son in the local supermarket and not even acknowledge him. I gave this man another chance to have a relationship with our son in January this year. He started to see him every other weekend or for a few hours, and eventually by June this stopped. His girlfriend had kicked him out and he was living back at his mum's. His mum then told me that he couldn't see our son anymore because it was causing tensions in his relationship and he wanted to move home and he had stopped seeing our son.
Oh my God.
He literally abandoned our son to go back to a woman. I don't think people understand until they've been through.
I've got to stop you.
What happened?
She's not a woman. That's not a woman.
No.
Don't call her that.
No, it's a girl.
No, it's not a female.
Sorry.
It's not female. Anyone that is saying you can't see that child,
is...
We can't give them the privilege
They
of
have
being
no
called
gender?
a woman. It's not.
They're genderless. I don't think people understand until they've been through something similar. They don't understand how the other woman can be the controller and manipulator. I'm still close with him, all my son's dad's family, and they are all the same about her. I don't know how anyone can go to bed on a night knowing you have a child that you don't see, and I equally don't know how a woman can support a man knowing he has a child he doesn't see. It's the lowest of the low. Sounds like you.
Did I write that? Hold on a minute.
I think the hardest part of this is knowing how my son will feel growing up. My dad was never in my life. He had other kids he cared for and raised. It killed me wondering why them and not me, why I wasn't good enough. I hate the fact that my son may feel that way too.
Sad, very sad. I know I always sort of revert back to Harley, but I'm sure he'd be able to speak about how he's felt his whole life.
Like maybe they just see it as no big deal and they don't realise the repercussions it will have on the children. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they wouldn't have thought at that time that it would cause such devastating effects. I don't know. Because I don't know if you did know that, how you could then continue with that decision.
No, but that makes me think, okay, so don't see your other kids then.
Yeah, they wouldn't like it if they...
No, how would you like that? Don't see your other kids. Don't be a dad to your